Hey, good evening. So, I stayed up a little later tonight because I wanted to get ahead of the night 5, which is tomorrow night for Hanukkah. And the 5th night in memorial of the victory of the Maccabees. I'm also putting this as the 5th attribute of God, which is Gebura, which is might. Okay? So, same as the nights before, we light the shamash, the middle candle, and then we remove it. And while holding the middle candle, we recite the traditional prayers. Step 2, pray the traditional prayers while holding the single candle of the shamash. Again, these are the prayers, the 2 traditional prayers. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments and commanded us to kindle the Hanukkiya light. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who performed miracles for our forefathers in those days at that time. Amen. And if you don't know the Hebrew, it's okay. You can pray the English. If you like to practice the Hebrew, you can do that. And if not, it's okay. Bless the Lord. He will accept your prayer in any language. So when you're done with the traditional prayers, I have here a proposed recitation in memorial of the 5th night, while holding the candle. Read this. In memorial of the 5th night, in rededication, and also in remembrance of the 5th utterance of creation, in which God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." And then as you say this right here, you light the 5th candle. Holding the shamash, you light the 5th candle, which is right here. So you say, "This is the might of God." Okay? This is the might of God. The might restrains, this is missing an I, restrains God's full light. God's full light from subsuming all creation. Okay. And then we light the 4th candle here. Might follows mercy. Like this. Might follows mercy. Light the 4th candle. Mercy follows knowledge. Light the 3rd candle. Knowledge, which follows understanding, light the 2nd candle. And understanding, which flows from wisdom, light the 1st candle. And then replace the shamash candle in the middle again, and then you bask in the light of the menorah, the Hanukkiya they call it. And so you put the shamash candle back, and then typically you sing the song, you sing the traditional hymn, Hanukkah hymn. At this point, you could also sing other worshipful songs. Then you have a reading, 1 Maccabees 1:54 through 64. Let's just look at that. These are not long. These are not long readings. These are actually short readings. Let's see. 54 through 64. And so, right here. On the 15th day of the month of Kislev in the year 145, the abomination of desolation was set up on the altar of the Lord in the towns throughout Judea. Pagan altars were built, incense offered at the doors of houses and in the streets. Every scroll of the law that was found was torn up and consigned to the flames. And anyone discovered in possession of a book of the covenant or conforming to the law was by sentence of the king condemned to die. Thus, month after month, these wicked men used their power against the Israelites whom they found in their towns. On the 25th day of each month, they offered sacrifice on the pagan altar, which was on top of the altar of the whole offering. In accordance with the royal decree, they put to death women who had had their children circumcised, their babies, their families, and those who had performed the circumcision were hanged by the neck. Yet many in Israel found strength to resist, taking a determined stand against the eating of any unclean food. They welcomed death and died rather than defile themselves and profane the holy covenant. Israel lay under a reign of terror. And that would end the reading. Now, how does that relate to God's fifth attribute of might? Well, you can meditate on it, but here's something that I have written with regard to that. And it's basically this. The wicked army of Antiochus used their power against the Israelites. They desecrated the altar of God. They showed no restraint of power, which is not true might. Their fires burned to try to and do away with the scrolls of the covenant. In their power, they put to death all who were true to God's laws. They killed mothers and they hung fathers. In this way, they did not honor father and mother, which this is the other thing that is in alignment with the number 5 is the 5th commandment, which is honor thy mother and father. Okay, so on night 5, we also understand that the 5th commandment is in relation to God's might. They came against God's established order of worship by the times and the seasons, because those are the lights in the sky which ordain the times and the seasons of God's worship. And they took no regard to the lights in the heavens. True might does not encroach upon God's boundaries, but establishes them. Amen. Amen. So that was the other thing about God's might relating to honoring mother and father. It's in relationship to the fifth utterance of creation, because at this same time, the sun and the moon were also, it's like not this verse, but the verse right after this, the sun and the moon were also placed in the night sky, or the moon in the night sky, the sun to govern the day. And the sun is like the father, and the moon is like the mother. Okay, and we know that the women are tied to the cycles of the moon, and so we see the masculine trait of the sun and the feminine trait of the moon, and it's father, mother, and it's the fifth utterance of creation, and the fifth commandment is honor thy mother and father. Okay, because they have been set as a mighty authority over you, to guide you, to show you the right way, just like the lights in the sky guide us and in the seasons and the times of the year. So with that, you could do more worship and or festivities like, food, dreidel, stuff like that. And then you would bring your evening to an end. Okay, God bless everyone. I'll try to get the next one up quicker. But I'm kind of like a day ahead of everything right now. So Monday night, it's going to be this, night 5. We just had night 4 tonight. And that was Chesed, and now tomorrow night is Geburah, might. And so those are opposite of each other. So you always have a balance of both power and mercy. Or you could say might and mercy, or Geburah and Chesed. Okay. Good night, everyone. God bless everyone. And I'll have the next one up tomorrow. Good night.